Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video, after a long span of time, we will have our discussion on the concept of palmistry. So a lot of you have been asking me that, Nipun, it's been so long since you uploaded any video on palmistry. So can't you just keep the palmistry playlist active as well? So that just gave me this insight that, okay, we can have our quick discussion, and the topic which I picked obviously has to be the topic which is most frequently searched or asked me in the comment section, which is about your love life. So guys, in this video we will try to understand that from your palm, what all information we can extract regarding your love life, regarding your partner, the qualities of your partner. So okay guys, let's just start our discussion. To begin with, first of all, you need to be clear with the parameters. Like while approaching any query, you need to be clear that okay, where exactly we have to see in the palm. Like when you are like doing any query from astrology as well, you know that any matter of career, which house I need to go to, any query of the education, which house I have to go to. Same way, in the science of palmistry, for any query of the love life, of the relationship, there are like 2-3 parameters or areas where you have to give attention. The very first is the this puffed section which is attached to your thumb, which is called as the mount of Venus. That is the first area which you have to give attention to. Second is you have to see the state of the heart line. So heart line, the one of the 3 major lines found on the top of the palm, is called as the heart line. You have to give attention to that. Third is the union line or the marriage line. So that is a line which you will find at the corner of your, on the side of your hand, of your palm, the percussion side. So on the mount of the Mercury, this is the line which is called as the marriage line or the union line. That is the third area where you have to give attention. And afterwards guys, to an extent you have to give attention to your like fate line and the headline as well, because that will tell about your priorities. So okay, now I will quickly summarize. I mentioned this thing that when you have to give attention to someone's love life, first of all, to begin with, you have to give attention to the mount of Venus, because mount of Venus tells about the kind of warmth which you have in your personality. Like, are you kind of a person who's very likable, who's very relatable, who's very approachable or not? Like, do you actually crave for love in your life or not? Having a very loving romantic life, matrimonial life, does that matter for you or not? And also guys, like to an extent, once we progress with the life and all, so sexual compatibility is also very important. And generally, when you will find any incompatibility between the partners over there as well, somehow the answer comes from this region in the palm only. So yes, mount of Venus gives information regarding the warmth which you have in your personality. Now, I mentioned the heart line. Now, heart line is very important because heart line tells about all equation of the love. What drives you in the love? Like the way I mentioned, mount of Venus tells about your capacity or the warmth which you have in your personality. But the driving factor, the intention, the motivation, like are you kind of person who just wants to be in love just to fulfill your carnal desires? Or are you kind of person who just wants to be unconditionally devoted, surrendered in the love? So all of that information we get to know from the heart line. After that guys, I mentioned the union line. Now this is a very funny line. See, because I'll tell you what, this line was very important in the earlier times, in the older times, when there was no such thing as the contraception, no such thing as the family planning and all, like condoms and all. But now we have all of that. So I mean to say, this will just tell about that once you are in a committed bond with someone, which direction the marriage or matrimonial life will take you. So all of that which we have so far discussed, you can look at it in a way that planets being placed in the 7th house of your astrological chart. But the 7th lord, the direction of the marriage, the ultimate outcome through the marriage, that we see from the union line on the side of your mount of Mercury. Now guys, I mentioned the headline and the fate line becomes very important. Why? Because headline tells about your personality. Headline tells about that what kind of people you will be most compatible with. So when we talk about from the mental compatibility point of view, in a way, when we talk about your compatibility of the moon as per the astrological chart and all, so that we get to know from the headline. Trust me guys, in all those kind of cases where people do not have their right date of birth or birth time, even from the palmistry, to a great extent you can advise someone the right person for marriage and all. So take it very seriously. So yeah, that's what I was telling, that the headline is very important, because headline tells about your mental compatibility or equation with someone. After that, the fate line is very important, because see, in the modern day and age, when we talk about your status is more of a sun line, but fate line also tells about your career progress. Like for example, you both started on a college time, and you were like a school, college, couple, girlfriend, boyfriend. Afterwards, one person start lagging behind in a very fast-paced, competitive industry, society, and the other person is like growing with leaps and bounds. And again guys, here I'm not talking about those conservative society where one person is stay at home looking after the kids and other person is responsible for going out and bringing bread to the family. I'm talking about a very modern day competitive kind of society. So over there, the fate line becomes very important, because fate line will tell about how you both will blend with each other. And trust me guys, a lot many times, in lot many hands, I have seen this thing, that if you will go, some of the couples I did a reading who were from the Middle East, that the guy had a very broken fate line at an age when he lost his job. So many problems came, but still life keeps going on. He got another job and somehow life was protecting him. And right at that age, at that stage, his wife's fate line was very strong. So in a way, somehow his wife's stars and bhagya, destiny, was supporting her partner. So yes, that is something which we get to know from the fate line. Now guys, because even I'm talking after a long time on the topic of palmistry, so now I will just give you quick bites, and based on the response I will see that do I need to make another video from the science of palmistry or not. So generally we say this thing, that if your fate line is originating from the mount of moon, from this side of the palm, from the mount of moon, it is a typical validation that you will get married to someone of your liking. There's a high possibility that once you will get married, your fortune will get awakened after you get married. If your fate line has a branch coming in from the mount of Venus, if it has a branch coming in from there, that generally tells about that you will get married to someone of your family's choice, your family's preference. Second thing is that we generally say this thing, that if from the headline you have any of the branches going towards the mount of Mercury, so that is a typical indication that you might get married to someone, or you might be very much interested in someone who is going to have very strong academic leaning, very strong academic background and all. And yes guys, when we talk about if you will have majority of the lines from the origin of the headline and the lifeline going towards the mount of Jupiter, that also tells about that you might get married to someone who is going to be very religious, very conservative, very traditional, very cultured and all. And guys, from the union line, there can be so many variation. The best thing which I can say is that, and I have seen that in couple of hands, the more longer this union line is, almost coming to the front of the mount of Mercury, under the little finger, that will tell about some sort of karmic connection or some sort of twin flame or soul mate kind of combination. The worst combination is if your this union line is curving down towards the heart line. It is not considered as good, especially guys in the matters of the love, or like in certain cases, like the one of the ideal combination is that written in so many of the good palmistry books like William G. Benham, Saint Germain and all. If the heart line is curving down, and heart line is curving down, and heart line, headline and lifeline, they all are joined together at the beginning, that is a typical indication that you might be very accident prone. So over there as well you have to be careful. But yes, if the heart line is curving down and the union line, marriage line is curving down, that is not a good indication. That generally tells about some sort of failure in the matters of love and relationship. So yes guys, you have to be contented. I have many more topics to make videos on palmistry as well. This was just a quick revision because this whole playlist of palmistry has been lying dormant for a long span of time, and based on the response I will see that do I have to make another video on this or not. So yes guys, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.